SMT Nation, We Back Nation. I'm going to use this placeholder article as kind of the inspiration for this commentary video here today from Fierce Network, Dan Jones, and it's titled Verizon Host Tailgate Party for First Responders. I'll link that for you guys in the description. But what I want to do is I want to discuss Verizon possibly politicking, trying to get some attention in what they're doing in their first responder efforts. Ironically, the FirstNet, that contract for first responder networking, does belong to AT&T, but Verizon still is not giving up that fight. I want to talk about that here in today's video. Link for the article will be down in the description. Ways to support us can be found there as well. Please do like and share this video. Subscribe if you're new here, and turn on the bell notifications icon to never miss an upload from the SMT. All right, folks. So, when AT&T won the FirstNet contract back in 2017, they became the name, the network, the builder for the FirstNet first responder network for the entire country. Government agencies, first responders, nurses, doctors, all these different qualifiers get access to a very large, far-reaching network experience that is supposed to be distinguishable, different than the rest of the commercial networks available across the country. In the years past, Verizon has been the name for first responders and agencies and government. And over this last, 5 or 6 years, 7 years of building this FirstNet network, AT&T has taken a majority of those first responders and agencies and all those customers. They now, I believe, have the most of those customers. Previously, that was Verizon. And I don't think Verizon's really happy about this. And I don't think internally that it's not something that's going to be discussed publicly. Verizon is going to just stand by and, not be in play for first responders. There still are, even though the contract is with AT&T, there still are first responders who insist on being on Verizon because AT&T's network is not the best where they are using these services. I've heard of first responders leaving FirstNet and going back to Verizon after switching because of coverage deficiencies and different problematic experiences. In and of itself, that's not surprising because networks can vary from region to region and place to place. And there are some that feel that FirstNet has not done enough and has not lived up to the hype of what it was supposed to be from AT&T. Now, if that question is reality, if that is true, and the question is FirstNet isn't good enough, should these customers return and go back to Verizon, or should Verizon be involved in FirstNet? I don't know what the answer to is on that question, but I will tell you guys, when you see Verizon hosting events and focusing on first responders, they know that those customers are truly important to their company's success. That is a big part of what Verizon does in their revenues. Business and enterprise, small business, medium business, large business, and of course, FirstNet, first responders and agencies. All right, so they had this huge party thing. They brought the Thor vehicle, which you guys have seen, which is freaking crazy. It's like a $5 million truck that basically turns into a huge cell site with all of their assets. They've got the robotic dog thingy, red robot dog. They had drones on display. Verizon is involved here. And I know that obviously AT&T has the FirstNet contract, but I'm not so sure that the best situation for FirstNet is to be on one network. That we could speculate that the best way to do FirstNet is to have it across multiple networks with some sort of a unified SIM, that sort of thing. I know that might not be preferred by either AT&T or Verizon or whoever gets involved, but it would be the best situation for first responders. So I'm not speculating that that's going to happen. I'm not saying that that's the writing on the wall, but there must be something that Verizon sees and understands. They are not abandoning this segment of the business. They remain a name that's viable for these customers. So, maybe it's something worth monitoring. Maybe it's something worth listening to, watching. Maybe something changes in the near future. But, Verizon's network has become quite modern. It continues to improve. and that's without government assistance, program assistance, or subsidies. So maybe that story changes in a couple of years. Maybe. What do you guys think? Should we see some changes to FirstNet? Should we see a unified SIM experience for first responders? Should we see some kind of a hybrid network for FirstNet? What do you think? Sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.